Sorry for delay. Sorry, Jagdish sir, for that.
No problem, sir. No problem. That's fine.
Because there is some technical problem. Audio is not audible for our side.
Yeah, but sorry, it is uh, there many times in the conference like this,
Yes, yes.
right? Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you, sir. So, very warm welcome to Professor Jay Prakash sir from New Zealand right now, and welcome to all the participants to in this invited talk given by the Professor Jay Prakash sir. And there is some short biography of Jay Prakash sir. So, Professor Jay Prakash sir faculty is a faculty of engineering and built environment, University of Johannesburg, South Africa, and right now is in New Zealand. So he done his DPhil in applied mathematics from Garhwal University, India, and he also done diploma in technology secondary, Massey University in New Zealand in 2000. So he has more than 45 years in teaching experience in India, Iraq, Zambia, New Zealand, and Botswana at university level. And his research interest in biofluid dynamics, fluid mechanics, computational fluid dynamics, mathematical modeling, and mathematical methods also. He has published 175 research publications in various reputed international journals, and he also attended and participated international conferences around the globe. He also awarded by and honors by various fellowships and awards, like as C.V. Raman International Fellowship, Global Visionary Award, Honorable Scientist Award, and many more achievements uh, of Professor J. Prakash sir. So this is the short summary or biography about the Prakash sir, and his invited talk title is Heat and Mass Transfer Effects on MHD Nanofluids Flow Over a Semi-Infinite Flat Plate Embedded in a Porous Medium. This on this topic, the lecture given by Professor J. Prakash sir, and the abstract, the summary of this presentation. So in this presentation, he investigated the effects of radiation absorption, chemical reaction, and diffusion thermo on free convective heat and mass transfer flow of a nanofluid past a semi-infinite vertical flat plate embedded in a porous medium. The temperature and concentration at the surface are assumed to be oscillated type. He have considered four types of cubic nanoparticles, namely silver, aluminum, copper, and titanium oxide, which are uniform in size with water as a base fluid. The governing equations are solved by using perturbation method. The effect of material parameters on nanofluid velocity, temperature, concentration, as well as the friction factor coefficients. The rate of heat and mass transfer coefficient and discussed through graphs and tables in detail. It is observed that nanofluid velocity decelerates with an increase in the strength of magnetic field, and the skin friction coefficient enhances with increased value of suction and magnetic parameters, while decreases with increased value of radiation absorption parameter, Parent number, Schmidt number, and Duffert number. This is the summary of this presentation. So please now welcome to Professor J. Prakash for the invited talk. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, good afternoon. I think I'm starting my talk about 15 minutes late. And I know that I'm giving the time 40 minutes. So you can display my PPT for the general audience.
Yes, sir. Just
And first of all, I'm very grateful and I'm very much honored on the invitation of Dr. Mani Gupta, who is also one of the active person in organizing this conference, to all the members of the organizing committee of this conference. It has become nowadays somewhat easy to organize the conference online. That has avoided welcoming a big crowd or good number of participants offline. It is good in many senses, but it is also not good, right? Because personally, when you meet each other, then the interaction gives a much more closeness between the person who is presenting and the persons who are attending. But anyway, under the circumstances which we are facing, it is not so easy also in organizing online conferences such as this. I am very grateful to each and every one, and also to the person who has introduced me, and I can wish all the best. That so far the conference has been organized very well. I have attended some of the talks, and I'm very pleased to know that there are persons who are interested and who have given their talks in MSG flows. So certainly there are persons to whom my presentation will be of good interest. This paper which I am going to present is in association with Professor Balamurgan. He is a full professor in RBR and GC College of Engineering, Chaudavaram, Guntur, Andhra Pradesh district. And I have good collaboration with many wonderful researchers in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu and in other states also, beside in many other countries. So this is one of the very good paper, in my opinion, which is not yet published, which if the conference will be interested, then we can modify this paper in a decent format, the format that will be needed on the template, and I can submit for publication in case the conference will have the means to do that. And I am very grateful to the person who has introduced me, that he has mentioned about the abstract, the summary of my title. So I will not go for that. I will skip it. Am I audible to everyone, by the way?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I proceed. This work is divided into the following sections. Abstract, that has already been introduced to you. Nomenclature, introduction, formulation of the problem, solution of the problem, results in discussion, conclusion, and references. Then this is the abstract which has already been read by the person who has introduced me. And then nomenclature. The nomenclature, right, it is here. My PPT is there with Dr. Mani Gupta. And anybody who will be interested to know about this paper in detail, then you can see the PPT there available. And also that those who are interested in this work or in this type of the work, then you can note down my email addresses here on the very front page, jagdishp@uj.ac.za and jagdishprakash108@gmail.com. Please feel free to write about it. And beside, I mentioned to you about this work in the conference. For to all the participants who are listening me, I must tell you briefly about New Zealand. New Zealand is one of the best, scenic and very clean, crime-free country. And although when I came in July from Johannesburg, there were no cases of the coronavirus, rather very few, no mask at all. But in August, it started because some people, they came from outside. There are very wonderful arrangements the government did here. And this is one of the best countries in the world. I have traveled quite a lot, but this is my best country. So those people who get in future some appointment, some offers to work here in any department, government or in business or in the university, it is a best country. please, you are welcome. And if you want any help, any correspondence, do it on my email. I will be happy to guide you, supervise you, help you in all respects. And South Africa is also very wonderful country. But before that, I worked for many, many years in the University of Botswana. Africa is also very nice. In Africa, there are quite a nice country like South Africa and Botswana. They are wonderful. Then I come to the talk. Heat and the introduction. Heat and mass transfer effects are influenced by nanofluid over a flat plate with diffusion thermo. It has tremendous applications in several areas like glass blowing and elastic sheet. Nanofluid is a sort of fluid that contains base fluid and nanoparticles. Nanofluids utilized as a part of nanofluids are normally formed metals, aluminum, copper, oxides. Here the suffixes, there should have been small numerals like Al2, 2 should be small, but doesn't matter. Don't bother about all this. And nitriles, aluminum nitrate, silicon nitrate, and carbides. And base fluid is typically a conductive liquid, for instance, water and C2H6, carbon hydroxide, and engine oil. Nanofluids have numerous applications in the industries. In the presence of magnetic fields, since materials of nanometer size have unique chemical and physical properties about sundry utilizations of nanofluids. The cooling applications of nanofluids incorporate silicon mirror cooling, electronics cooling, vehicle cooling, transformer cooling, and so on. Magneto-hydrodynamic convective flow issues are exceptionally imperative, and some of the works on the chemical engineering, planetary and stellar magnetospheres, and aeronautics can be found in these references. Nanofluids can increase the thermal conductivity and convective heat transfer performance of the base liquids due to the increasing importance of nanofluids. There is a huge amount of literature on convective heat transport in nanofluids problems. Nanofluid is described as a fluid containing nanometer sized particles called the nanoparticles within the length scale of 1 to 100 nanometer diameters and 5% volume fraction of the nanoparticles. These fluids are suspended in you are not changing the slides from that side. So, because I'm able to use, but somebody who is on that side should be together with me, and you can just keep on turning as I keep on moving. Please. Thank you very much. The hypothesis of nanofluid is first presented by Koi and has been a field of dynamic research area for about 2 decades. Koi has proposed the infusion of nano-sized particles into regular fluids, for example, water and oil. He has demonstrated experimentally that the injection of these particles enhances the thermal conductivity of the fluid. This conclusion has opened the best approach to utilize these new fluids in chemical engineering, mechanical designing, medicine, and many other fields. The idea of a nanofluid has been proposed as a path for improving the execution of the heat transfer rates in the liquids. The investigation of heat generation or absorption parameter impacts on moving fluid as an important in view of several physical problems. So you can see these in the introduction, what I'm giving the information to all the listeners, right? That gives a feeling that how much the important is to know about the MSD nanofluid flows because of its numerous applications. Right. Due to the quick development of the electronic technology, effective cooling of electronic equipment towards becoming cooling of electronic equipment ranges and warranted from individual transistors to centralized server PCs and from energy suppliers to telephone switchboards. By considering temperature dependent heat generation, absorption, several authors have investigated the heat transfer problems. Copper nanoparticles of mean width less than 10 nanometers examined by Koi and Zheng. So in introduction, actually, there are several authors whose work is there. I will skip actually most of it because you are also running late. So I will try to squeeze my time. Doesn't matter that I take exactly 40 minutes. Even if it is less, the paper is very long. It doesn't matter, right? So that your program or according to the time should be uh, little bit uh, put in order. So Das et al. They inspected 244 rise in thermal conductivity development for nanofluid containing titanium oxide, water nanoparticles over a small temperature varying from 21 to 51 degrees centigrade. Now, these are the different type of the works which we have consulted. I will not go through with all these, just to cut short the work of Makinde. It is not M-A-N, it is M-A-K-I-N-D-A. He is from South Africa. I have done also good amount of work with him, some research papers. And you can see the information here about what different other authors they have done in different type of the considerations in the problems they have studied. So I need not to go through with all this. Similarly, the effect of thermal radiation heat transfer process is of significance in the design of many propelled energy conversion systems operating at high temperature. So there is a very nice paper that is done by Sandeep and other colleagues. He is also from somewhere from Tamil Nadu. He used to be at YIT University Vellore before. Now, yeah, somebody is asking about the link. I think I will request Dr. Mani Gupta to provide the link to whomsoever they will be interested, because I have sent the PPT to her and she will be able to organize and send a request to anyone whosoever
Yes,
is
sure,
interested
sir.
to get
Sure,
the link.
sure, sir.
Now, it has been discovered that an energy flux can be generated not only temperature gradient, but also by concentration gradient, that is called the diffusion turbo effect. Now, again, in perspective of significance of this diffusion thermo effect, you can see the other papers, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? And in the link, those who will be getting when you are requesting to Dr. Mani Gupta, then you can go through with these references and more in detail you can read. We studied the effects of chemical reaction, diffusion, thermo and radiation absorption on MSD nanofluid, heat and mass transfer flow past a semi-infinite flat plate. The governing equations are solved by regular perturbation technique. The effects of various flow parameters on the velocity and temperature profiles are sketched and analyzed. In addition, the local skin friction coefficient and the heat transfer rates are examined. This is actually the physical model of the problem. In the formulation, as you can see here, you can move forward the slides. So formulation of the problem, I am on it. Yeah, I'm here. An unstudied natural conventional flow of a nanofluid past the vertical permeable semi-infinite moving plate with constant heat source is considered. The physical model of the fluid flow is shown in figure 1. The flow is assumed to be in the x direction, which is taken along the plate, and y direction is normal to it. A uniform external field of strength B0 is taken to be acting along the y direction. Now, these are some of the assumptions which are considered in this paper. The induced field and the external electric field due to polarization of charges are negligible. While I'm presenting, I'm getting some messages, so that is fine. But if you want to get maybe more detail, don't hesitate to send the email to me, and so that I can be more friendly and I will be able to help much more instead of just sending the short messages while I'm presenting. The plate and fluid are the same temperature, T prime infinity, and concentration C infinity prime in stationary condition. So these dashes, they denote that these terms, they are non-dimensional. Sorry, they are dimensional. So we will make them non-dimensional, and you will see the technique that I will follow. When T is greater than or equal to 0, the temperature and concentration at the plate fluctuate with time harmonically from a constant mean. The fluid is a water-based nanofluid containing 4 types of nanoparticles, namely silver, aluminum oxide, copper, and titanium oxide. The nanoparticles are assumed to have a uniform shape and size. It is assumed that both the fluid phase nanoparticles are in thermal equilibrium state. Due to semi-infinite plate surface assumption, the flow variables are functions of y and t only. And we assume that V dash is equal to minus V0, where minus V0 represents the normal velocity at the plate, which is positive suction. V0 is positive and negative for blowing, injection, that is when it is less than 0. These are the equations: continuity equation, velocity equation, temperature equation, and the concentration equation governing the flow of the nanofluid flow. The relevant boundary conditions for the problem are given by this. So you can, these are the boundary conditions, and the dashes, they denote that these variables, they are at the moment dimensional quantities. And further, the dimensionless parameters featured in equations 1, 2, 5, and they are defined like this, right? And in equation 2 to 4 with the boundary conditions given in 5, right? We get those equations 2, 3, and 4. They reduce in the form 6, 7, and 8. And the corresponding boundary condition, they take the form of 9. It is not that easy and straightforward to get these equations in such simplified form. Actually, in fluid dynamics problems, when you do the analytical work, right, you have to go through several pages, right, calculations, right, and using the softwares. So it's not that easy, but here you find already the cooked material. A lot of labor has been done, and then finally we are on 6, 7, 8, and the corresponding boundary conditions they are given in 9. So one has to do a lot of work, lot of calculation, lot of things on the paper one has to do before reaching to this stage. Then solution of the problem. Now we have the equation 6, 7, and 8. They are non-linear partial differential equations whose solutions in closed form are difficult to obtain. To solve these equations, the expression for velocity, temperature, and concentration, they are assumed in the form 10, 11, and 12. And when we substitute these equations in 6, 7, and 8 and equating non-harmonic terms and neglecting higher order terms using relevant boundary conditions, we obtain the expressions for velocity, temperature, and concentration given in 13, 14, and 15. Anybody, whosoever will be doing this work will have to go through with a long calculation and long analytical work, and this is what the nature is when you are solving the problem in fluid dynamics. Those who are involved in fluid dynamics, they know that how much the work is involved in this case also. The dimensionless skin friction coefficient, rate of heat transfer, and rate of mass transfer we have calculated because we know u, velocity, we know theta, temperature, and we know psi, which represents the concentration. Now, results and discussion. Let me ask you, how much time is left? Dr. Mani Gupta, the master of ceremony.
Sir,
How much time
5 to 10 minutes can take, sir.
I don't want to delay the program. Just give me how much time I can go through further.
10 minutes, sir.
Maybe 10 minutes
Yes, sir.
or more.
Okay,
10 minutes? That is fine. Good. So results and discussion. In order to bring out the silent features of the flow, heat and mass transfer characteristics. Here. With nanoparticles, the results are presented in figures and tables. There is one table only, not many tables. The influences of nanoparticles on the velocity, the temperature, and the concentration, distributions, as well as on the skin friction, the heat transfer rate and mass transfer rate are discussed numerically. The values are chosen as epsilon is 0.01, T is 1, omega is 1, PR is 6.785, while the remaining parameters are varied over a range that you will see in the table also. The magnetic parameter M on velocity profiles for nanoparticles, silver, aluminum oxide, copper, titanium oxide are appeared in figures 2 to 5. From these graphs, clearly, nanofluid velocity of the fluid decelerates with an increase in the strength of magnetic field. The impacts of a transverse magnetic field on an electrically conducting fluid give assent to a resistive type force called the Lorentz force. This force has the tendency to slow down the motion of the fluid in the boundary layer. It is clear the retardation of the velocity of the fluid and an increment in its boundary layer thickness. The next is just plotting the graphs, right? So in every problem, it becomes easy to explain the concept by drawing some figures, some graphs, some tables. So like in figure 2, it is effect of magnetic on velocity profile with silver water. Another is with aluminium and water. Other is with copper water. Another is with titanium oxide and water. The influence of diffusion thermoparameter due on the temperature distribution for silver, water, aluminum oxide, water, nanofluids is depicted in figures 6 and 7 within boundary layer. I can see I can skip the rest of the things. As you can see in 6 and 7, this is the effect of differ number on temperature profile with silver and water. Again, it is with aluminum and water, and the graphical representation of Prandtl number PR on temperature profiles is depicted in figures 8 and 10 that you can see here. Effect of Prandtl number on temperature profile and with silver, copper, and effect of Prandtl number on temperature profile with copper and water. These are the tables, and for different things, if you consider these values, then the range is given, which is worked out and calculated. Conclusions: we have analyzed the heat and mass transfer effects on membrane flow with silver, aluminum oxide, copper, and titanium oxide, water nanofluids over infinite flat surface. We considered silver, water, aluminum and water, copper and water, titanium oxide, water, nanofluids. The model equations are solved by using regular perturbation technique. The following conclusions can be made from the present investigation. Number one, the silver nanoparticles prove to have maximum cooling recital for this vertical porous plate problem. This is due to the high thermal conductivity of silver and low thermal conductivity of the other metals. The temperature profiles increase with the Duffer number, and the skin friction diminishes as Prandtl number enhances. These are some of the references. And one thing I should admit, that there should have been an appendix also, because the last which I have demonstrated, the symbols are used M1, M2, M3, M4, but what do they stand for? I have slipped that page to put that appendix in extra sheet. Sorry for that. If somebody will be interested, or when I'm submitting the paper, then for publication, in case you have the provision, I can send to that. So thank you very much for your attention. Mathematics, rightly viewed, possesses not only truth, but supreme beauty. Bertrand Russell. And mathematicians are the true anchors of the world. One thing more, please note, I am Krishna conscious person, God conscious person. I practice this since many, many years. And nowadays in New Zealand, what is happening, I am giving a community service. I am giving talks from radio station on Bhagavad Gita, and which is the supreme scripture for all of us, irrespective of any faith, religion, spirituality, right? Spoken by Lord Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. That is Bhagavad Gita. And about 80 half an hour lectures so far I have given. Every day I go to the radio station, I give 27-minute talk which is recorded, and I will give the link. I am not giving here. On that link, you can listen to the talks. They are, believe me, life building things, life building talks. If you want to be successful in every sphere of life, whether it is research or job or in your personal life, having a wonderful life alone or together with your partner, or in many ways, those talks, they are going to be very beneficial. I request Dr. Mani Gupta to send that link also of the Bhagavad Gita, my talks. You will see that 16 talks they are uploaded. So far, one talk every week on every Thursday. On that link you will find. I am also giving long talks, each of 54 minutes on Srimad Bhagavatam. Again, wonderful things. So the link is not yet out, but in that I also given about more than 50 talks. Every day it is going on. So I am spending my time not only in research, academically, I am active, very alert, very productive, and also spiritually, by God's grace, I am progressing very well. Okay? So listen those also. These mathematical talks extend nowhere. Why? Because we speak in these mathematical talks not the truth. To be very frank, imagine how much of assumptions I make used to make the work publishable. But so much of approximation, so much of untruth is involved just to keep us surviving in our profession. But the real knowledge comes from the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. They speak the truth. They are life building informations they possess. So thank you very much, and keep yourself fit physically. I'm also a yoga teacher. For example, for your information, I do at least 2 hours, 1.5 hours exercise every day, and that's like I feel very fit to do the work for many hours. So thank you very much for your attention, and bye bye. Any question?
Thank you so much, sir.
Any questions from audience? I think there is no question, sir.
No problem. That is that you are making the life simple for me, and it doesn't matter. Though not everybody in the conference is interested in a particular subject. Everybody's focus is on a particular subject, like it could be any field in mathematics or any field in computer science. It doesn't matter. But you can discuss with me some general situations, right? You can talk to me about New Zealand. You can talk to me about other countries like where I have worked. You can talk to me, take some advice, consultation or whatever, listen my talks on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and be physically fit. Not that you should be doing only all the time mathematics only. No, you should be doing some physical exercise so as to keep yourself physically fit and alert. Thank you very much for your attention. Have a very wonderful day, nice day, every day. God bless all of you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your nice and knowledgeable presentation in this conference, and very thank you for this valuable words for us. I think we all benefited from your talk and your spiritual talk also. So thank you so
No,
much, sir.
okay. Spiritual talks you will listen,
Yes,
right? Very nicely, in very simple way. Slowly, I'm speaking, giving talks, and thousands of persons around the globe, they are very keenly listening those talks. So I will humbly request Dr. Mani Gupta to send that link, maybe to all the participants. And it doesn't matter who you are, from where, which nationality you have, from which background you come from, right? It is beneficial to each and everyone. So that link, I will personally request the Dr. Mani Gupta to send that, forward that link to all the participants who are attending this conference. God
Sure, sir.
bless all of
I
you.
will definitely forward.
Yeah. And don't distinguish, send to everyone on the WhatsApp or on the email, that link that I will give to you. And you can see my email there, contact number, everything, and you can subscribe. It is free there, and it is Manava 2 People's Radio Station. And see the studio where I speak and give talk. God bless you, Dr. Mani Gupta. Thank you very much once again. And I
Thank you,
wish
sir.
all the best for the success of the conference.
Thank you.
Organized so well, but online conference, we don't enjoy the feast, or we don't enjoy lunch or dinner. But the feelings are wonderful,
Yes, sir.
organization is wonderful, and this is what the participants need. Right? God
Thank you,
bless you.
sir.
thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So,
Namaste.
namaste, sir. I request to all the participants, please click on your cameras for one picture. Please on the cameras, all the participants. Okay. Thank you so much, and we will meet in the technical sessions 5 and technical session 6 with the given links in the schedule. So thank you so much again.
And by the way, validity session will be at what time?
Validity time is 4 to 5, 4 to 5 p.m. IST, Indian time.
I will be there. That's fine.
Thank you,
4
sir.
to 5. I will attend.
Yes, sir.
Time will be 10:30 here, but it doesn't matter. I will be watching validity session.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And your good name is, by the way,
yes, sir.
your good name is
Good name is Krishna Kumar Gupta, sir.
Achok Krishna Kumar Gupta. Okay, Professor Krishna Kumar Gupta. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. जी sir. नमस्कार sir.
Namaste. Namaste.
नमस्कार.
टेक्निकल सेशन कौन कर रहा है और दूसरा भैया
मनी मैडम